story. I got punched so hard, and Hump saved my life. This dude, Lyndon B Johnson, was a defensive lineman for us. And Lyndon B, if you're out there and you're not in the UFC, you should be in the UFC.
You should be.
This dude punched me square in my face from 5 yards away, had the longest reach of all time, and Hump came in and saved my life.
But when I tell people that story, I tell them that he punched you from across the street.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Net Worth. I am your host, Justin Pugh. Net Worth is brought to you by Athlete Podcast Network. We are part of the network. Shout out to APN for keeping this train on the tracks. Today, we have a special guest. But before we get into that, I want to take a moment to let you guys know where we've been, where we're going. It's been a wild ride. I've been learning a lot more about this business as this thing has progressed. We're finally getting up and running with some of the cameras, some of the technical side. I'm learning a lot through this process, and I appreciate you guys supporting me throughout. All my subscribers continue to like, comment, and subscribe. We finally got the football sent out and some of the t-shirts. We are on our road to 2,000 subscribers. So shout out to Walt and Bill. I hope you guys got your footballs, enjoying them. Thank you for the continued support. I see you guys on Twitter all the time. I try to be as active as possible on there. And we have some more collaboration coming up. I'm going on some Giants podcasts. I just did Pat Leonard's podcast. Just keep spreading the word. Continue to like, subscribe, because we're going to continue to have more guests on. I have some NFL GMs lined up, some NFL players lined up, some analytics folks lined up. I think you guys are really going to enjoy those episodes. So in the comment section, as you guys like and subscribe, make sure you comment some people that you would like to see on the show. I'm going to have a former Giants great on. We're just working on getting those timelines set up. And it gets me really excited to talk about who we are bringing on today. It is a perfect segue. We are bringing on my boy, DJ Humphries, current Arizona Cardinal, 9 years in the league, from South Carolina, Union, South Carolina, moved to Charlotte, went to Mallard Creek High School. He makes mentions of that and some of his teammates from Mallard Creek that are now in the NFL. DJ was the number 1 overall recruit, went to Florida University. He was a first-round pick. He's done it all. He's one of the best humans I've ever had a pleasure of playing with. We trained together at AMDG/O-Line Performance with Charles Bentley. There's some funny stories in there, how me and DJ got to know each other at first and what he thought of me at first. DJ is a great man. I know his wife. I know his kids. He lives right down the street. He's got a great perspective on what it takes to play at this level, who he thinks some of the best D linemen in the league are, some of the best offensive linemen, who he modeled his game after. He self-represented himself in his last contract negotiations, so we touch on that. Just overall, unbelievable man, unbelievable teammate, unbelievable player. He's gone to Pro Bowls. He's done it all in the league. And he's sharing with us that insight and talking football in the business of sports. So without any further ado, let's jump into that episode. Welcome to the show, DJ Humphries. What's up, bro?
Hey, man. Appreciate you having me, man. Glad I can be here.
I feel like this is
grace the stage.
Bro, I feel like this is how we live our life anyway. So like this is to put one of these on camera was just, it was fitting. I feel like we've talked about it. You gotta have your own show. I don't even know if I need to be involved.
I think you need to be, because if it's just my show, it's gonna be dangerous for me.
This is the ebony and ivory that we've been talking about at LLP since the beginning.
It's ebony and ivory right here. Yes. Nah, I appreciate it getting to come on finally. I'm glad I see you doing your thing. So now you got me wanting to be involved. Now I want to do is you make it look fun.
Well, because you got more personality. I mean, if you ask every time there's something in the locker room, they ask guys who's the funniest guy on the team or who's got the best personality. They're always saying me or you, and we're always biased like that. The O-line are the funniest guys on the team. And for me, being around you for the last 6 years now, I've seen how you've progressed, and it's just, I mean, dude, it's awesome to see. But I will say this: I want to tell this first story because honestly, 6 years ago, you might not have came on this show.
No,
did you like me when you first met me? We got to tell that story.
Not even a little bit. When you first came to the team, I just remember you being so like brash and abrasive. I'm like, bro, why is this dude so comfortable coming here just throwing his weight around like this? I also had no understanding of like how it is when somebody comes in at the highest paid in the room. I had no understanding of that at all. And I was like, why is everybody, and why are they listening to what he's saying? Why are we doing the stuff that he's saying that we should do? And nobody knows him. Why are we doing this? Yeah, it was definitely a rocky start for us at the beginning for sure.
It was rough, and plus, we weren't playing next to each other, so it was
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
we
definitely,
were
yeah.
never working together. We weren't doing combos together. So we were out there on the field.
Nothing.
It was you and Mike Potty and me and Andre Smith. So it was like
Yeah,
you always got to. I don't think people realize when you play next to somebody like the amount of time you have
the
to spend
connection.
communicating. Like how
Yeah.
people think you can just plug and play anybody at any time.
No.
And I hated playing right guards. When I moved over to left guard after that first season in 2018, I think it was like, all right, let me figure out if this dude and me are ever going to get along.
Are we gonna be cool?
And we figured it out, bro. We figured it
Literally.
out quickly.
I remember you like getting into a scuffle, like that OTAs and like us all being there and like breaking it up and like that being I remember that me being the moment like, all right, like he an asshole, but like he'll throw his head in there too. Like he can fight, like he don't care about fighting. Like I fool with him. If he gonna play beside me, at least I know I got a dog playing beside me. From there, I was like, all right, we gotta be friends now.
And I definitely was the guy. Well, Kelvin Beachum was the instigator of all the fights. I think
Oh
you're
man.
of the offensive line, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're probably the most like even keel, like you're
Oh
happy
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I'm happy. I'm
99.9% of the time.
yeah, I'm happy to be there most of the time. Yeah.
And then that 0.01%, when Kelvin Beachum and Beach, we're gonna get you on next.
Yes.
He would start barking. I would start barking. You would end up we would drag you into these fights because you're not going to be the guy. But if you get involved in a fight, I've seen you get in some guys' faces. We won't
Yeah,
name
yeah.
names just
We
yet.
get going.
It was,
Get
I mean, I
going once it
remember
started.
we might have to tell that Lyndon B Johnson story. I got punched so
Oh
hard
goodness.
and Hump saved my life. This dude, Lyndon B Johnson, was a defensive lineman for us. And Lyndon B, if you're out there and you're not in the UFC, you should be in the
You
UFC.
should be.
This dude punched me square in my face from 5 yards away, had the longest reach of all time. And Hump came in and saved my life. I mean, I don't know what it looked like from
Oh,
your perspective. Do you think you saved my life, right?
bro, when I tell people that story, I tell them that he punched you from across the street. He swung from so far. He swung from so far. That was probably one of the wildest things I ever been a part of. Straight to a face mask too. No thought process about how hard he was swinging at a helmet. Straight cinema.
He concussed me. I got a concussion.
Yeah,
I had
that
to play
was.
week 17 with a concussion. That's why you always
And
got to have a left tackle as your boy.
the fact that you told him the next day that you sat beside him in meetings the next day and was like, "Yo, man, you gotta go to the UFC. Like this is not where you need to be. You need to be in the UFC." Is the
I've been
crazy
punched
part,
by
the craziest
everybody.
part
I've been
of the whole
punched
thing.
in the face by everybody. That was the hardest I've ever been punched. So if Lyndon B. Johnson, not the president, is out there, Lyndon,
Yeah,
it was the hardest I've ever been punched, man. I hope you're in the UFC right now.
you
But
should be
this
for
is actually
sure.
the number one thing I want to talk about is like shit talking and scuffles in the NFL. Like I know I don't know if you saw this, but like after the Super Bowl, guys have come out and some offensive linemen kind of got into it. We know like John Feliciano and Colt McKivitz kind of was like he was defending his teammate and defending his teammate Feliciano like accidentally like kind of let the other guy take the fall, the right guard.
Yeah,
And people started coming at Feliciano, and I was like, man, he was doing the right thing, trying to stand up for his teammates. And me and you have been in this boat so many times, like where people online may see it and think, they're doing one thing, but really the call was something else. And it led me to talk about like people talking about their coaches, people talking about their teammates. And as a leader and a captain, you've been a captain for 5-6 years now with the Cardinals and a team leader. How do you handle like dealing with the media and saving face for a teammate and also at the same time being honest about, if things aren't going the way you lose, owning up to that? Because I feel like you've always done a good job of playing both sides of it.
yeah. I think it's understanding like mainly what the situation is. If it's a situation where I can take the bullet for in that situation, I'm probably gonna take it because I know how to. I feel like I got a good handle on dealing with media and dealing with the things that come with it. I really just because I honestly I don't give a damn. Like I don't care about what comes with it, honestly. So like as many times as I can try to take the bullet, I will. But when you're in those situations, you can't. It's never to defer Because even if it's a situation where there's one play or something happened like that didn't cause the game, or that something that somebody did doesn't like describe their whole character or who they are in those situations. So it's like I always just try to find the one little piece that I can lean on in there to try to be on the middle of it, because most of the time if somebody's acting out of character, it's something that happened, or they're having a moment where this is, all right, you guys don't know that this is going on, but I'm not going to get in front of the camera and be like, hey, this guy has this going on and this going on off the field, so this is why he acting like that, because that ain't my plays also. So I think it's
feel
always.
like you're sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it.
But I feel like you're also a guy that like handles it on the field. Like you're going to handle with that said guy. I mean, who is the best shit talker in the NFL? Like, how do you handle? Because like I have to grab you sometimes when we're in the huddle. Like, Hump, I know he's from South Carolina or North Carolina. Like, but how do you handle like the positive shit talking when you're like it's a guy you're playing against versus because sometimes you go against guys where you're not as friendly with. How do you deal with like the positive shit talking or the negative shit talking? You've done both sides of it.
Honestly, I have to lock in. I have to lock in with the positive shit talking more, because it's like it's almost like it's kind of becomes banter. Like it's like funny. Like, well, you got me on the last, oh, I got you. Like it gets a little too. In some situations, it can become too relaxed. You can find you like, all right, we're just getting a little too friendly here. When it's a real shit talker across the side of the ball, and he's really we're not friends. It's easier. Like I don't care what happens to you. I can come off the ball. I'm doing you any kind of way, and I don't care about the in between because you're talking shit. I'm not going to say anything to you. I'm not going to talk with you on that side of it unless it becomes, oh, I'm pushing you out to play, I'm doing some extra stuff like that. Then that's when I start getting involved. But the chirping, I'm gonna laugh at you the whole time. I'm gonna make a joke. Like I'm gonna kill you with kindness the whole time. Like I'm gonna laugh at you.
And that's the Larry Fitzgerald model. I think we both learned that from Larry Fitz. Yeah, he would always tell us like Cam Chancellor. It's like if Cam Chancellor's coming across the middle and you have a chance to like be friendly with a guy like that, he's not going to take that shot at the knee, or he's not going to go low.
He's not going to blow him up. Yeah, he ain't taking that shot at the knee. But I honestly, I don't. Even on that side of stuff, like I don't. I'm taking a swing at the bear. I don't care. Like if it's my turn to swing at the bear, I'm taking the swing at the bear, and I'm swinging for the fence. I don't care. Like because I know what you're going to do to me when it's the other way around. Because I've seen it happen. So I'm still swinging at the bear every time.
So here's the thing, though. I think the most iconic shit talking fight on the field. Well, we're going to talk about this past year in a second because you got kicked out of a game this year.
Oh shit! I did get kicked out of a game this year.
All right, hold on. Let's start with that one, and then I think your most famous one before that. There's a viral clip where you and Aaron Donald have each other, and I'm not a big fan of Aaron Donald. You know, we had to go against him every year.
Yeah.
So I think I want to talk about both those real quick. Yeah. So let's start with this last year. What happened in that game? Because I texted you after the game, like, Hump. Like I was playing, what the hell happened? And you started telling me.
Honestly, it was crazy. It was crazy. The whole thing that happened, I can't remember. I think it was a pick. It was a pick, and all the guys charged and trying to make the tackle the line.
Did you make a beeline for the goal line, or you're an athlete? Like you're a left tackle.
Yeah, no. This. I knew that I could cut this one off. Like I didn't turn and run. Like I felt like I can get in the mix and like I could shed a blocker and make a play on this one. And I did shed a blocker. Yeah, I did shed a blocker. Now I shed a D tackle, and I was, I was in hot pursuit. But my boy Yoda had already got him down. Yoda and Paris was already in there, and but all I see is Yoda like getting dog piled at the bottom of the pile, like unnecessary stuff. So I go over there and I push. Was it 56? I can't remember which. It was one of their linebackers. I push him, and as I push him, I see that he's coming to like swing at me, like he's finna like throw a punch at me. And I swat it off. And as I swat his hand off, our hands hit a ref coming in to get in the middle of us, fight, like getting in the middle of two guys with shoulder pads and helmet on fighting. I don't know what he thought was going to happen with our hands. I don't know. Like, I don't know maybe he's never been in a fight or seen a fight or anything like that. So refs he really know how to perceive it. Yeah.
Refs are part-time. So we got to get them full-time so they know how to like, hey, let these two dudes go at it.
Insurance or something right now.
Exactly. He don't know how to fight.
Yeah.
So you get bounced from the game. What happens when you get? I've never been ejected. Like I've been close to getting ejected. So what happens?
Bro, all the years of football I played, I've never been ejected from a game, bro. It was the first time. And like I knew, like I just remember them saying in camp, like you know how the refs come in camp. I remember them saying in camp, like, hey, if you touch a ref, you're gonna get kicked out of the game. Like no, like it's no.
And it was unintentional.
Unintentional. It didn't like, but so that's why I was thinking it was some ground. So as soon as I went to the sideline, I went over to my O-line coach because they were trying to like hide me on the sideline, so like they wouldn't know that I was like they'll forget about
you're
me.
6'5", 315 pounds, and
but at the same
see
time, fights are still like happening on the field. So like I'm in the midst of like I'm trying to go back and forth, and they're like, huh, like come on. I'm like, bro, but they are fighting. Like y'all not watching what's also still going on the field. They're still fighting while these refs are trying to figure out what they're gonna do with me. So I'm asking I said, Coach, you think I'm gonna get thrown out? He looking at the field, he's like, yeah, probably so. Probably so. Sucks because you was playing really good ball, man. Sucks. And I was just like, damn. I know I do it. As soon as they said, I just ran to the locker room. I was like, what I'm not gonna do is make this any worse and like throw a tantrum on the sideline and do some dumb shit. So I'm just taking on it.
And was there a FedEx that week waiting in your locker? And so everyone listening,
no.
When I say, was there a FedEx? Guys sometimes get fined. Like, there's been crazy fines all year long. I mean, I've been seeing running backs get fined for just hitting guys in the hole. I guess it was unintentional. They realized that there was no malicious intent behind this.
Bro,
there was no fine.
I got no fine for that, but I got a $14,000 fine this year for leg whipping Myles Garrett, which I didn't do.
I mean, he's the one dude.
Which I didn't do.
He's the one dude that, like, come on, cut us a break here. We're going back.
But you want to know? You want to know what you want to know what they considered me leg whipping him? I went down on the B gap. He was playing 4-eye. I went down on the B gap and the 3 tech, the nose spiked out to the 3. So I turned down on the 3 technique and like our like ankles like hit each other. And they got me for the leg whip, 14 racks.
I mean, that's the thing about offensive line that no one understands. The only time they see us on TV is when we're getting fined, getting penalties. Myles Garrett, I mean, I'll ask you. I'm going to ask you this question later on. Who's the best? But he might be one of the best defensive ends in all football.
Yeah,
it's like, cut us a break here, man. That dude,
he's made in the lab. Like, wow.
All right, so before we move on from shit talking and get into some other stuff, I got to go back in the last, maybe most notorious shit talking fight you've been in. Not ejected, but was in a wild card playoff game. You and Aaron Donald lock up, and the funniest thing ever, it like says "Stop Hate" on the back of your helmet as you were like grabbing them. What was that?
But if you go back and watch, I'm smiling the whole time. Like I thought we were having good fun. Like I didn't realize that he was all upset to the end.
Man, I think he tried to break my thumb that game. So I was happy when you and him got into it.
I didn't understand it because but prior to that, we had never had any issues.
He doesn't talk, right?
You know what I mean? He's not a talker in the game. He don't shit talk or anything like that. So we had never had any issues in the game. And I didn't do, like, it wasn't like I did some dirty shit or nothing. All I did was, like, I blocked him to the whistle. Like, it was a good block on the backside of the run, and he didn't like that shit. And we got into it. And I will say, bro, I still, to this day, I feel like I was a victim of, like, the LA media. Like, ESPN got the good angle. Like, he didn't reach my neck. Like, that shit, I still feel like LA, I got hit with the LA media joke. They got me, bro. ESPN got me.
But we're gonna put this clip in here. It just says "Stop Hate" on the back of your helmet, and like you see each other, and you're grabbing them. It's like, what the hell are we doing here? Or vice versa, whatever it was.
Good fun. If you watch the video, I was smiling the whole time. We was having a good time. Stop hating, man. I got no hate in my heart.
I've been playing against Aaron Donald since I was in college. This year was the first time me and him have ever shook hands after a game. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
I mean, every time you go against a guy, you always go shake their hand and say what's up. Maybe he just, I feel like after every game, he walks straight up the field.
Yeah. I don't, like, now that I can think about it, I don't ever really remember him being like a big after the game guy.
Well, just like you hated me early on, like he's never got to know me.
Yeah, that's all it is.
We could be good. Well, I'll have to get him. I'll have to get him on the podcast, man.
People don't know you're a good guy. I had to tell them all the time that you're a good guy.
It's the East Coast in me.
Bro, I'm telling you. That's all I know.
It's the sarcasm. It's like the sarcasm. I'll work on that. I got to do better if I'm going to have people on the podcast or else they won't come on.
Nah, it's all right. It's cool. You got to kind of like, sometimes being an asshole to people is good because like, sometimes people talk straight to an asshole, you know what I mean? They don't cut around, they don't beat around the bush. They give you the real talk.
We cut straight to business, man. It's the East
Coast, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, so season goes on, shit talking, that whole thing happens. Obviously, I want to touch on it, see how you're feeling. I know you got surgery, ACL tear. I just went through it previously. I mean, you've been through all the ups and downs, the highs and the lows of the NFL. How are you feeling right now? I know you were out in Minnesota doing the rehab.
Yeah.
Everything good there?
Everything going smooth. I'm feeling much better since being back from Minnesota, honestly. I was out there, all the lakes out there were frozen. It was like dark every day, 30 degrees. If it's 45 degrees, everybody has on like shorts and like light windbreakers, and they're excited about it. They were telling me like, Hump, this is like spring. It could be -20 right now. And I was like, yeah, man, you guys are
Surgery
lucky
went
that
good though. I mean, everything was.
Everything went great with the knee. Still looking good. Swelling its way down. Moving good. Past 90-degree flexion. Got all my extension back. So we rolling, man. Just about 2 more weeks. I'll be off these damn crutches. I'm so excited.
And I think the one thing that people don't realize is when you have an injury or something like that, and when you're young, you rebound quick. But like the amount of work you're putting in every day, I text you like, hey, you want to hop on to the podcast? You're in rehab and you're in like working with the chef. You're in like taking care of your body. So like, how has your process changed from maybe when you were like first coming into the league? When I was I was still in New York, and I was hearing some stories when your rookie year to now where you're at, where I've been over your house and like, dude, you are as regimented as they come, like from the water you drink to the food you put in your body. Like, how has that changed for you?
I think it's just honestly, I attested to having good role models like y'all boys. Like, you know, I'm blessed to have been around a bunch of vets and guys that's older than me that's doing stuff the right way, whether it be on the field or off the field, or how they eat, or how they're doing business acumen wise and stuff like that. I've been blessed to have such a good a circle of veterans. I like to call y'all boys my veteran council. I've had such a good veteran council over my career that it's been easy to like pick up game. I feel like that's how you learn. And that's how you pass on the game, because ain't nothing that I know or process that I'm doing now that I didn't learn from y'all or any kind of any way indirectly. And I think before I didn't have a process at all. I was just going through life and floating around. Now I actually have a process and what I'm trying to do. And when you got kids, it make it a little bit easier because you get to sit in. You got a time window that you gotta fit stuff into. So that definitely makes it a lot easier.
And here's the thing. I just had my daughter. Obviously, you know, you met her the other day. And I've known your kids, you know, since coming to the Cardinals. How awesome is it? And this is the one thing I may regret while playing. How awesome is it to have your kids down the field with you, to have Dash and Nova see you on the field, for them to really understand like what dad does? Because I think that's the one thing that I'll regret through my career. I didn't have that. But what's that been like for you, Bree, and your family? I know you got a super tight family.
It's been super dope. Yeah, I think that's been one of my favorite parts about it. Like knowing, like having the box for so long and knowing where to look and seeing Nova and Dash on the wall, like trying to get my attention, seeing me walking, you know what I mean, being able to spot me from up so high and being, you know what I mean, just knowing my number and knowing where I am, and even when I'm outside of shorts and knowing how to spot just how I walk. But Daddy, I saw you. I could tell that was you because I see on your head, or like, you know what I mean, like stuff like that has always been like it's so dope to me. Catching my son, like trying to act like he's throwing the ball up, trying to catch it and stuff in the cut. Like it's like it's all made it easy to like go to work and come home. Like I don't go to work ready to get to work or running from home, and I don't run out of the building at the same. I mean, I don't run to the building for the same thing. Like stay around in the building all day. I'm ready to get home to get to my kids. So it's definitely been super cool. Probably one of my favorite parts about my whole career is getting my kids getting to see it.
Is dad strength the real thing? Like, did you get stronger once you started having kids? Like, cause I'm, you know, I'm not as strong. I'm not the strongest guy in the NFL. I'm wondering if like with Joey now, am I going to add like 20, 30 pounds to the bench press?
Bro, I'm telling you, you're going to get so much of this right here. This is the motion right here. And it's what you don't know, this right here, this extra cuff on the leg, that's the forearm. That's where you activate the forearm, and then you get in the bicep too. And the chest, the pec is going at the same time.
So really having kids is best for running backs, probably.
Like running backs, your whole man. If you're a running back, it's probably great for you. But I've noticed my hands just when I grab a hold of somebody, my hands are just so much stronger after having kids, and I think that's what it is, bro. It's the cuff, it's the hook right there. That right there, you really get the forearm going.
Is that what you think is the best? I mean, I'm kind of jumping around, but when you mentioned hands, like when you turn on your film, what's the one thing that you do that makes you unique, that makes you special? And I'll give you my take too after, but like, what is your, you know, if you were selling you right now to a team, or you were selling yourself, like, you know, and free agency, you represented yourself, which is one of the craziest things we'll come back to. But like, how do you go to a team and say, hey, this is what I do better than anybody? Or like, what was your pitch when you were selling yourself to the Cardinals?
I think my go-to pitch was to turn on the film and know the competition that I've gone against and all the guys that I've gone against, and understanding that anybody that you would compare me to or think that is better than me or whatever you would say it, all of them probably got me by 2 or 3 inches and 30 pounds. So like when you take those things in regard and you look at me as a player, you watch me move on the field, you watch me knock guys off the ball in the run game and how I move and how my hips are engaged and how I can get to the second level and move because I'm light on my feet and still be effective and knock holes in the run. And then you watch me pass block, you watch me move and those say that feet translates to my set. My set is sweet. There's no argument in that.
That's feet in the game.
Yeah, and when my hands are on, there's nobody that can beat me like that. So that's why I say turn on the tape because it's easy for me to give you lip service, but when you watch my competition and you watch me go against them, then there you go.
How'd you develop that mindset? Like, because left tackle is more mental than anything. It's like, hey, you're on an island. This is why you guys are the highest paid. You got to go. You got to block guys like Lawrence Taylor, like in comparison, Von Miller, Myles Garrett. Like, how do you lock in mentally? I feel like that's the hardest part because going against Aaron Donald for me, and he's such a unbelievable player. Like he beats guys on Mondays and Tuesdays because you start thinking about it. You have a guy like that every week. So how do you deal with that mental part of it? I never asked you this question, so I'm excited to hear it.
I think for one, my dad kind of just bred me that way of just always being confident in yourself. It's never about what somebody else has going on or what work they're putting in or what they're doing. It's always about what you're doing and make sure you being the best version of yourself every day, trying to be who you was yesterday every day. So like just being in the house with him and like developing that mentality as a young kid, I think that's why I didn't fit in a lot, even like going back to like going on recruiting trips and stuff like that, because I didn't know who guys was. I wasn't on Rivals, like looking up the names and rankings and all that stuff. I would like my dad wasn't, he just didn't feed into that shit. So it was always like, bro, we don't care about who ranked, we don't care about none of that. All we care about is putting this work in, getting these offers, going All-American, you know what I mean? So like that kind of built that mindset for me as a kid. And every time I've had success in whether it's high school, college, or the league, it was always about me. I was always focusing on me and what I was going to do and how I was going to do it and how I needed to prepare and how I needed to eat and all that stuff like that. So anytime I lose track, it's always I'm worried about something else versus what I need to be doing. Because if you can just be you're the best version of yourself, whatever happens at the end of the day, that's what my dad's like, whatever happens at the end of the day, you go sleep like a baby because you went out there and you put your best foot forward. So just kind of, I think from that from being so young and trial and error through my life of knowing like, man, every time I done slipped and failed is because I'm out here worried about some other shit, trying to do something that ain't fueling the success.
Well, the one thing I will say, the reason why you didn't have to worry about Rivals, like I had to scroll down like hundreds of names to get to mine. When you went to your rival page, it was the number one on the board. So like you had to scroll down. So like that's why I knew who everyone. I was like, oh, DJ Fluker, this guy. Like, all these guys were in front of me. With you, it was always like you were the number one recruit coming out of high school, right? I mean, that was like for me being the no star. And it's crazy. Like what I love about the NFL, and I'm sure you could attest to this, like you could be the best player in the country or you could be a two-star, and we end up playing next to each other.
We play exactly.
You're from Union, South Carolina. I'm from Philadelphia. Like we never would have met if it wasn't for football. But that's the beauty of the game.
That's literally the beauty of the game. Like that's what I say. I that's the story that I tell. Like how football is. Like think about the fact that I didn't like you when you came to the team. Fast forward 5 years later, my daughter is a flower girl in your wedding.
I know.
That's nuts. Like, you know what I mean?
You get goosebumps thinking about it because like me and you have had more conversations, more probably about life than football. I know when
way more,
especially with like the NFL and all the social injustice causes that have been going on. And I remember going into OLP and shout out to LaCharles and CJ and the guys. Yeah. We all train at the same place. A lot of the Arizona Cardinals all training there, but like we would have these workouts where we were almost working the mental and like changing our perspectives on life while we were lifting. And that's maybe I think we should touch on that for a second. I mean, how was going to a place like OLP where you're getting all offensive linemen in there, also all guys from different walks of life? Like, how have you seen that? I mean, it's made me a better man, which regardless of sports, I think has been huge. But how have you used that to your advantage, or not even like to your advantage, but how has that impacted you? Not just me, but like all the guys, because I talk about Kelvin Beachum. I talk about, all the guys from over there.
I think, and I go back a little bit further. I think that was like when our relationship became about more than football for me. Like during those times and having like how crazy the world was during that times and us being able to have those, like serious talks and being honest and open with each other, that's when I was like, yo, this dude has got some, like, I fuck with my dog more
because we're
for
both
fiber, so we
idiots.
can do
Because we're both idiots in our own respect. Like we only know what we know. Like I grew
what
up
we
in the
know.
suburbs, primarily white, and you were like, "Yo, look at it from this perspective. Put yourselves in my shoes." And that's where I think, as a world, that's why I always say, if the world could be more like offensive linemen, because O linemen, we get the biggest mix of guys. I think
You got a
across
mix,
the board.
yeah, it's a mix.
Yeah.
Right. That's like you said, it's one of the biggest, it's the biggest mixed group that you can have on, that's going to be on the field for sure. But talking about LaCharles and going to the OLP and AMDG, like it's been, for me, that was like the biggest shift in my career. I think like when I that was when I took my career into my own hands for real, when I started going to LaCharles and knowing how the things, like the same stuff that you was hearing in New York, he was hearing right down the street about me. So for us to get him in front of, once I finally got in front of him, he had an opinion of me already from what he had heard, and scrubbing that off and getting to the place that me and him are at now. It was a long haul for sure. But like that's that relationship, and our relationship is probably one of the most pivotal ones that I've had since I've been in the league. Just whether it's on the field development to mental, like off the field stuff and business and father and all of it. It's like you said, it's one of those places where it's just, you go there and we're lifting weights and all that. Yeah, we're doing all that. We're getting our work in, but those conversations are in between. They're not little, hey, did you see the video last night? Like, no, we're having talks for real that are hashing stuff out that guys don't normally have a space to even talk about. And they definitely wouldn't talk about it at their home locker room.
Oh, 100%. It's one of the most intimidating places, but one of the most rewarding. I remember you and Kelvin Beachum had trained at LaCharles, and now it's AMDG. So I apologize for saying OLP, but that's what I had gone by for so long.
Yeah, I do all the time. I mess it up all the time.
Exactly. And LaCharles, during COVID, it was really the only place in town that we could train at. And I wasn't training there at the time. And I remember walking in there and seeing all you guys do this O-line specific training. You, Kelvin Beachum, the list goes on and on. I mean, every start in the NFL, there's a guy from the gym. And LaCharles may be one of the most physically intimidating guys. He's a man of few words. We'll drop a little picture of LaCharles from his heyday, but he's yoked up, he's shredded.
Yes, please,
his veins have veins.
He looks the same today also from his heyday. He still looks the same today.
It's crazy. And to go in there and like have the type of training sessions we have. The one thing that I will say has hurt offensive linemen, and if you feel differently, I'd love to hear your opinion, but we don't go as hard during OTAs, during training camp, which I love. I love taking miles off guys' bodies. Yeah. But to be able to go to a place like OLP where you still get to work on double team blocks, O-line specific, picking up stunts, all the lifts we do all have our hands in offensive line like positions. So I think that's the one advantage you have of going to a place like that, where you never stop working those muscles that you use as an offensive lineman. Do you think that's one of the reasons you've had some success?
I think it's definitely why I've had some success. Especially just knowing the type of guy I am. Like, you can't being able to blend those same patterns all off season and flow right into doing it. It's been huge for me. I mean, you think about every other position. You see receivers catching balls all year, all off season. You see DBs doing back pedals all off season. You see quarterbacks throwing the ball all off season. So it's like that's it. It makes the most sense. And it's every year I've seen myself progress. Every year I've seen me learn how to figure things out on my own and grow and be able to pass on that knowledge to other guys, whether they're in the gym or not. And I watch it work for them and look back at me like, yo, that was it. And I'm like, yeah, bro, like that's what I'm talking about, you know? So that's the gym has been, that's what most time I refer to, the gym. The gym has been like one of the most pivotal things for my career in LaCharles, and how they then handle me and help groom me for sure.
So obviously when we're in the gym, we're getting to train with some of the best guys at our respective positions. And that's the other thing. You get to look to the left of you, like, oh, that guy's starting left tackle. That's a starting left guard. That's a starting center. He's played for 10 years, XYZ. You're Mount Rushmore of guys. And I know you alluded to this earlier when you were talking about contract negotiations, pointing out to the Cardinals, like, hey, turn on this guy's film, turn on that guy's film. Who are a couple offensive linemen that you turn on their film and you're like, that's a guy I want to model my game after, or that's a guy that I admire the way he plays? Current, former, whatever. Yeah, whatever you want. However you want to take it.
I'm not a crazy historian when it comes to offensive linemen, because I've only been an offensive lineman for the last 15 years, I'll say. 15 years.
You're getting, hey, now you, I remember when I first got here, you were the young guy. Now, all of a sudden, it's like double digit years in the league.
That's crazy.
So, what? Yeah, I'll let you go ahead.
But, what was I saying? I'm sorry, I lost it.
Who are like the guys you were like, you haven't been playing?
So, let's see. If I had to say my Mount Rushmore, I'm going Trent, obviously.
I knew you were going to go Trent right away because we've talked about Trent. And he's like a guy that like, it's almost even hard to mimic your game after. But the one thing I will say, I feel like I see you do that Trent does well is the run game. Like you guys come flying off the ball.
Yeah, Trent is a dog in that run game.
And I feel like that's the one thing I see in your game too. Like when you come off the ball, you're humming.
I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there.
Especially on that pin and pull when you guys are pulling out and have linebackers and DBs in space, you're trying to KO.
Go. Yeah, I'm trying to get on ESPN every time. Every time I hit that corner, I'm trying to get on ESPN. So yeah, if my Mount Rushmore, I'm going Trent, Tyron, Joe, Thomas.
I like that. That's good 3. We don't need to put more than 5 on there. I think Tyron's probably the most technically sound. Would you say?
I'm gonna tell you who I like a lot. Like I want to put Jason Peters is like the first tackle that I really knew and watched like, as a kid. Yeah, you know what I mean, as a kid. But that like LT, Laramie.
Yeah. Oh, Tunsil. Hey, you might have to have a feed off. You might have to have a feed off with
that boy. Sweet, he got it. I ain't gonna lie.
His
that boy
feet is crazy, and you know what he does so well? He stays so square to the line of scrimmage while he sets.
And every time he take a set, I told him I said, bro, can you act like it's hard one time? Like I'm watching you and you like chilling. Like this is not a tough. You're not having a tough time. I'm watching you take these sets like cruising and just doing the same thing over and over again. Like so, I'm adding him in there. Like he's a future.
He's more like he's coming up the ranks right now. He's working up the left tackle. You guys have a group chat or something? Do all these left tackles have a group chat?
We don't. We all like each other. I will say, I don't know one left tackle. I haven't met one left tackle across the league that I didn't like. Like I've just met him and didn't like him.
Is it like quarterbacks where you guys go and dap each other up after the game? Like, hey, there's only like 32 of us in the league. The right tackles are even in their own categories. Like, hey,
yes,
we know what we got to go through.
Even still, like those two, I'm going to see the starting left tackle and right tackle at the end of the game, whether I know them or not. Like if I'm watching them, you know, I'm watching it on. So whether I know them or not, if they play, I'm going to holler at them. Like I'm going to talk to them.
Well, you know, your boy was playing left tackle this year, so you know.
Hey, I see.
I was gonna get that left tackle group chat invite. That's what I was hoping for.
Get my boy. I get your honorable mention. We get you in there, bro. We get you in there.
I appreciate it.
I think to go back to what we were saying, though, I think that I don't know if anybody's ever said this. So I want to be the first person to say it. I think that Laramie is like a blend of Tyron and Trent.
Like has unbelievable athleticism, but also his technique is on point.
Yes.
Because and I'll say this, like just from watching Trent's technique, no one can do what Trent does.
You can't do that. You can't even watch it.
Trent is this God-given ability. I mean, and what he can do, he was put on planet Earth to just move men against their will. Yeah, 100%.
Like I'm watching Tyron that to admire.
And Tyron has like the perfect technique. Like he's perfect sets, hand punch.
Yes.
But to have a combination, that's scary.
I think that's the best way to describe Bull. I think he'll a mix of those two. I like that.
All right. I like that a lot. All right. So now we've given some flowers to our brothers, our offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Now we got to give some flowers. As much as I hate doing this, the best D lineman you faced in your career. Like, give me who was your first start in the NFL and who was it against?
First start in the NFL.
Like, what was your like welcome to the NFL moment where you're like, oh shit, this is real?
So, all right, so I'll tell you my welcome to the NFL moment. My welcome to the NFL moment was I'll take this back. My rookie year, we're playing Kansas City in either the first or the second preseason game. And you know, like Kansas City keep their starters in for a little while. Like that's just something they've always done.
Andy Reid's working them.
He's working them. So when we get ours in, all the starters come out, we go in. I see Tomba and Justin Houston still out there. I'm like, what y'all doing out here? What y'all doing? Like, this supposed to be
rookie year. This is rookie year, right?
This is rookie year.
And you were playing right tackle at first, correct? Or were you at left tackle?
I'm at right tackle. Yes, I'm at right tackle at this time.
Hating your life.
Miserable. rich as I've ever been, miserable as I could be.
People don't understand that, man. Going from left to right tackle. We'll come back to that. Finish your story. I want to ask you that because people talk about it like it's easy. We'll come back to it, but finish your story. You got Tamba and you got Justin Houston.
And I'm watching them like argue about like who's finna go against me. Who's finna they're like going back and forth about who's finna get to go against me. Man, Tamba come off that ball. I reached them hands, immediate hand swipe. Lucky the quarterback got the ball off. Next play, run play. It's Justin Houston. I'm like, Belfin, knock him off the ball. Zone. Ole. Straight to the dirt. Straight to the dirt. Hit me with the Ole. Straight to the dirt. Next play, pass play. Justin Houston. Don't even touch him. Haul ass and around the edge. Don't even touch him. 3 and out. They take him out. The next series, we go back in. I'm like, yo, this shit is about to get wild. They had to took him out. I'm dominating the twos. I went to dominate the twos. I'm getting pancakes on the linebackers, all kind of shit. But before that, I was like, yo, this shit, but this is about to be. I think that was my welcome to the NFL moment, like for real. But my first start in the league was against Chris Long, and when he was with the Patriots. Was
that right tackle or was that left tackle?
At right tackle, yeah.
So you did get starts at right tackle in your second year.
I started my whole second year until like week 8 or something like that. Like to mid-season at right tackle, yeah. And then our left tackle went down, and I went over the left.
And never looked back.
Never looked back.
So tell me about that. I mean, me and you did the same thing then. I was a left tackle all throughout college. We were both first-round picks. You come in thinking you're going to be the left tackle of the future, and you were the left tackle of the future. They just had a guy they were paying at the time that was, getting towards the end of his career, and I guess he had an injury. So when they first slide you to right tackle, and you had been we already had read your accolades, but you're a number one recruit. You go to Florida when Florida was. I mean, dude, you were at Florida right after like Tebow, and I mean, Florida was the place to be. You're going against every first round pick at every which way. I mean, you're in the SEC, you're playing the best talent, and you're locking everybody down to be a left tackle. And you get to the league, and I don't think people realize how hard it is because you've been doing things one way, your inside hand, just your foot placement, your kick. Yeah. How hard was that to transition? And then how excited were you to go back to left tackle?
It was so hard to transition. Like that's literally, my rookie year, I didn't dress the whole season. I was drafted to play right tackle. Our right tackle was going to be suspended for the first few games of the season. So they drafted me in the first round, hoping that I would come in, plug and play, and eventually, just start as a rookie. And I couldn't figure the right tackle stuff out. I fully blame myself because I was going through combine training like. They're like, yo, you need to practice right. I'm like, man, I'm not practicing no fucking right tackle. I'm a left tackle, dog. I ain't doing that.
That's that mentality. I think that's part of the reason that's made you so successful, like you said. Yeah.
It's the same mindset was like, I'm not doing that. I'm doing this is who I am. And so I'd be damn, as soon as I got there, first day of rookie mini camp, we got you at right tackle. I'm looking at the thing. I'm thinking it's a card. I'm like, maybe it's backwards. Like it's a card. It's going when I go on the field, it's on the other side. Like, nah, you at right tackle. And Marcus Golden was the second round pick of our draft. So it's me and Marcus in rookie mini camp going against each other the whole camp. And Marcus like I know Marcus.
Yeah.
He's trying to prove why he should have been a first round draft pick on me every snap. And he's doing it. Like not only is he trying to, he's doing it.
Shout out to Junk. Junk's one of my favorite teammates and one of your best friends. I mean, he's killing out there in Pittsburgh right now. But that's real. I mean, but it's like, and this is how I always tell people when they ask me, it's the easiest. Go home tonight and whatever hand you wipe your ass with, wipe it with the other one. You're going to get the job done. It's going to be messy. It's not going to look real good. And you're going to be real anxious to do it again. It snowballs on you.
Too. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hand going to be stinking.
All right. So we talked about Junk and all that. Who is some of the best D linemen that you've gone against? Who is like if we do the Mount Rushmore? So I guess to wrap it up, you go back from right and you move back to left.
Yeah.
Never have played right since.
Yeah, I ain't been right tackle since. I moved to left and been locked in ever since.
I guess I got to ask this one question. I'm all over the place, but so then if you were a GM, and we've talked about if we were GMs, how we would build our team, would you ever draft a guy and make him do the same thing you did, or how would you handle that? Offensive lineman.
Oh, I think that's the way to do it. I think that's the way that's what I would do. if I had, especially knowing if I have a pick or if I'm in a situation where I got like a situation that we were in and we had a draft pick like last year, you draft Paris Johnson. Like you like knowing seeing him and watching him develop how he has like that. If that's the guy that you can bring to your build, you draft him. So if you got a situation like that, I think you have to. If not, I'm on the side of like what we talked about before. Is like bringing in a veteran to like because you're trying to the object is to win. So I don't like it's less time developing, it's more time spending on you meshing with the playbook so we can get out there and you do your 1/11th of the job and get after it.
So you would take a left tackle like yourself and move him to right tackle. And
and break him. Like, yo, you got to do this for the team. This is what you got to do. You got to figure it out. And it's going to be something for you on the other end of it eventually. Like, we're going to get you right on the backside.
But knowing like how you were mentally, hey, I'm a left tackle. If you met you at the combine, DJ Humphries was interviewing DJ Humphries, would you draft yourself and move you? Or after talking to you, how would you have felt?
After talking to me, no shot I'm drafting me. No shot.
To move to right tackle.
Yeah, no shot. If I know
so
I got to put this kid at right tackle, hell no. If I know I got to put this kid at right tackle, no shot I'm drafting me. Because I can tell how he's talking. He ain't thought about right tackle all summer. So I'm starting all of my drawings that I'm drawing. If I don't know how to do the play, I got this part right here. I don't got nothing over there. I got nothing.
You weren't even drawing up the right side. So shout out to Paris then. I mean, he's got that demeanor. I met him briefly. I crashed the O-line dinner. Tell me about Paris. I know everyone's real high on him right now.
I've never met a rookie like this dude, like especially in a rookie offensive lineman, whether it's how he is on the field and actually being ready to play on the field. Like the guy that he is with the helmet on and how he is off the field is like this, they made this dude in the lab also. Like he's one of those guys that's like, how are you good at everything?
I saw him. I was at breakfast with Ange, my wife, the other day, and
he told me about this at the Henry. He told me.
I saw Paris, and I look up to him. I'm like his little brother. Like I shook his hand. I'm like, all right, Mr.
He's a giant.
All right, Mr. Johnson. Nice to meet you.
All right, Mr. Johnson. Nice to meet you.
If you need help with anything, just let me know.
Let me know. I'm here to help.
I mean, that starts making me think like, man, I got to get my ass out of the league.
Man, hey, they're making them. There's something in the water,
bigger,
man.
Stronger,
remember Jordan Davis? When Jordan Davis did that combine, we was just like, yo, what is happening? What's happening?
Yo, I had to block him this year. I was weighing 280 pounds.
Bro,
he's 365.
I blocked him the second to last game. I thought I had got a hernia. I was trying to cut him off. I thought I got a hernia.
I mean, the Eagles.
That's a Mather Creek guy. You know, he went to my high school. That's a Mather Creek guy right there too. That's my dog.
I know. Because 2 years ago when we played him, I had to be like, Hump, you're not going to hear the play because you keep talking about Mather Creek. I know you guys went to like state finals and won champion. Like I know you guys got all that stuff.
He actually won them all. I didn't do shit. I didn't win nothing.
You set the foundation. But dude, the Eagles D-line, I mean, they got that dude Jalen Carter right now. He's the next up-and-coming star. I was trying to tell the Cardinals they need to draft him. That was one of the guys I'm like, that dude was a dog.
That dude, I played him this year like he was as advertised. He's gonna be a dog. He's already a dog. He's gonna be a problem in this league for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's probably the best D lineman on the Eagles right now. I mean, you got Hassan on edge rushers. I think.
I said he's talking about interior for sure. Yeah,
Fletch still that guy there. Don't get me wrong. But I think like as a pure pass rusher,
you know what's his name? Yeah, when it comes about just being that guy that's gonna get it done, that can get it done still on third down, like that's for sure.
He's that dude. All right, so we always talk about and we always joke about being the GMs and how we would build a team. Are you starting to buy into my philosophy, or are you still like, can we still be co-GMs together? Or are you?
I told you, I'm bought into the philosophy unless we got a unicorn at QB1.
If we can find Patrick. So I haven't even talked about this yet. I got to do an episode on this. I'm having Kaim on next week.
Yeah.
We're having our boys.
I need to crash that one.
Maybe we do it together because you know him even longer than I have. But I've always said I would never pay a quarterback over 17% of the cap. There's never been a quarterback aside from Patrick Mahomes, put in Tom Brady, put in the Mannings, put in whoever you want. There's never been a quarterback to win making over 17% of the cap until Patrick Mahomes. So my whole strategy was like, all right, well, I'm going to tie the quarterback salary to the cap so they never make more. But what I'm finding out is like a lot of what I was saying was wrong. I love getting D linemen. I love all those things. But there's like some strategies out there now, and I'm trying to get a cap expert on to talk about it because apparently you can do like voided years, prorate the signing bonus, all these different things. So I think we might have to change the way I do it. But what's your ideal team? How about this? If you were the Cardinals GM this year, who would you draft in the draft? Were you the fourth overall pick?
Oh, that's easy. I mean, we know who we need to draft. His dad's a Hall of Famer. That's a
Syracuse, is
like
that
who
one?
like I mean, who do you like? Who do you? He is. Gosh, that's your like what? That's your one of six. There's six of you guys.
Don't
There's
hate on
six of you
Syracuse.
guys.
Me and Hump always argue about Syracuse. Syracuse has more Hall of Famers than Florida for right now. I think we got you guys beat.
All of them were born pre-World War One.
Dwight Freeney just got in. How are you hating on my man? You played with Dwight.
That's the only one. Cell phone
Marvin
era.
Harrison. He's going to be in. Is Marvin? I don't even know if Marvin Harrison's in.
Yeah, Marvin is. I'm tripping. Marvin, I'm just joking. You got some goats in there. I can't argue with that. You don't have a lot of guys in that we know, but the guys that are in there they're big time guys. So I give you that.
So you're saying Marvin Harrison Jr. No questions asked.
I'm saying who you like. If you're in that position, who else like? That's the best available pick. That's what I think.
So too.
If those other three teams are going to fight over a quarterback, then that's the best available pick right there. Like, you know.
And if there's a quarterback on there and you can go back one or two spots and maybe get some more draft capital, I'm not opposed to doing that either. If you can still like trade back to 5 or 6, say like the Giants wanted to move up to 4 to get their quarterback, I think you could see a trade where the Giants would give up a pick or two to hop into that conversation.
To jump into that early pick, yeah. Yeah,
I think once you get past those 3 quarterbacks, all of a sudden it's like, all right, who's that next guy? There's some tackles out there. There's some D linemen, but the receiver class is deep. My one thing is because we've had so much success in Arizona, like Larry Fitzgerald has just been like the gold standard of what it is to be a player on and off the field. To get a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. that seems like he's built just like Larry, 6'4", makes every catch, was best receiver in college, just like Larry. I think it'd be hard I think Bidwell is going to look at it and be like, I just had a 17-year run with a guy that was
the same thing.
So I don't know. I don't know. I've never had a conversation with ownership with the Cardinals, but I just feel like you look at it and you're like, if you had a dominant wide receiver, I remember we had Larry Fitz to start, but then we had DeAndre Hopkins. If you have a dude that can go down there and just catch it, no matter who's covering him, we always used to say, "Screw it, D Hop's down there somewhere." Kyler,
he's down there somewhere. Flick it over there. You know what I mean? And you got like adding him to the cast that we already got to is like. We just need another piece here or there. You know what I mean? So being able to add him to the cast that we already got, I think that's like I don't know how else you could do unless it was something that was like we traded this for this and all, like, you know, we got so much capital for the picks and all that stuff. That's too easy to mess. Like, that's too easy in my mind.
And I think you guys did it right. I mean, like, and you don't have to talk about this, but like how the season went this year for you guys. Obviously, I think every game I would turn on the film and be like, damn, the Cardinals are playing their asses off. You guys played so hard. You ran the ball well. And then when K1 got back, it was like, again, another fire was lit. I think he was out to prove a lot of people wrong because everyone wanted to start writing him off. What did you see from Kyler this year? I mean, you've been with him his whole career. That kind of like, was there anything different, or was he just kind of same guy, but just continue to progress?
I think it was for me, it was dope to see him. Like, I remember saying this earlier in the year. Like, most of the time we never get to see quarterbacks like train or like do anything. They just come back and they've been gone. They come back and they're throwing the ball all over the field. And it's like, oh man, that's our quarterback. Being able to see him train and like get through the hard parts of his surgery and have like tough days and fight through it and still like that was dope for me because like I said, that's just something that I ain't never really got to see with any of my quarterbacks because that's just how quarterbacks are. You usually once the season's over,
they're on private planes and they're living a different life.
You know what I mean? Like that's why I say they're like unicorns. You never see them, and then they're back, and you're all at them. And it's like so being able to see him do that and watch him like be around the guys and like and dive in on it. That was dope for me to see from this year for sure.
And that's why I always, you know, obviously we've known Kyler for forever now since he's been in the league, and you got to see him this year come back from that adversity. Everyone always wants to give K1 a hard time, but I tell everyone this all the time. Look at all the quarterbacks throughout history. And quarterbacks, everyone wants to get on Kyler for playing video games. And I'm like, I'd rather have my guy sitting at home playing video games. Like, K1's the most competitive guy I've ever been around. When it came to just like walking down the hallway, he wants to make a competition out of it. So
he wants to win anything. Like whatever it is, it's a competition. It's like whatever it is. So it's like that's my thing. It's like we mad at this guy for like staying in the house and not getting in trouble. like that's what we're upset about. If you was in the club,
me and you, the only thing me and you would get on K1 for was that me and you like to talk so much, And we're like, K1, give us more of an answer. Like, be more of like, cause we don't shut up.
Yeah. Like we want to, come on, give me, like you said, like elaborate, please give me more of that on that answer.
But I'm looking forward to him. Like he went through a similar journey that you're about to go through too. It's like coming back midway through the season and going out and proving a lot of people wrong. And you don't have to do that. You've already had your career speak for itself. So it's like, I'm excited for you to get back on the field. And I think I'm super excited. What's the type of mentality that you take going into the season? Cause you won't be ready for week 1, but like, you get into week 6, week 7, like you're starting to get ramped up. I mean, ACLs have completely changed from even when we first got in the league. It'd be like, oh, this guy's going to be out for a full year. Now it's like guys are coming back 8, 9. I think, were you here when Adrian Peterson came back in like 8 or 9 months? It was something crazy like that.
Came back. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that shit was wild. That's where everybody was like, we got to go to Dr. Andrews down to Pensacola because he's getting these guys back so fast. Yeah. That was wild. That was like the original first early comeback story that I feel like that I ever heard of for sure. No, I think for me, mentally, I'm the same mindset that it always is. It's like we're attacking anything, whatever the obstacle is, whatever the goal that we try to achieve, we're attacking it. So every day I'm going to rehab, like, yo, we're trying to get the Super Bowl out of this knee, whatever it is, whatever we got to do to win. Whatever I got to do every day to make sure that I'm moving the needle, getting the extra degree on the bend and the flexion, whatever it is, I'm trying to make sure I'm doing it every day because this ain't the end of it for sure.
All right. So now I want to transition out of football. We talked enough about football. I want to talk about like off the field and kind of what your mentality is like off the field. I saw this clip from warmups. My producer Alex interviewed you earlier in the year, and you talked about being a first rounder and things other than football, and that's kind of your mentality. So when it comes to business, be a first rounder. When it comes to your foundation, being a first round foundation. So first off, let's talk about Peewee House. Tell me more about that. What you do, what it's all about. Who it represents, what it means. Like, give us the lowdown on that because I've seen this kind of work through.
Peewee's House is a foundation that me and my wife created. Honestly, my wife gifted it to me for Christmas one year. She had heard me talk about it. So shout out to my wife, Bree. She hadn't heard me talk about it for so much and how I wanted to start it and all this stuff. So she got the LLC, did all the paperwork and everything, got it all set up for me and presented it to me for Christmas one year. And we've been rolling. That was the Christmas before we got married. That was what she got me that Christmas before we got married. So we've been pretty much rolling since then. And it's
that's how you know. Just I got to give a shout out to Bree. That's how you know you got a real wife setting up a foundation for you, like knowing what you look forward to and giving back. Like, man,
and she's the CEO of the foundation too. She runs everything foundation. I literally just got the vision and she makes it all come to life. So anytime you see Peewee's House stuff, it's really her. Something that I thought about and something that she like completed for me, honestly. And she like it's like I said, it's for my hometown, Union, South Carolina. Very small town, underdeserved town, landlocked into a lot of food deserts and the way that the neighborhoods are set up. So every year we go back and we do a fresh food initiative, fresh food drive where we're giving out boxes of fresh produce to anyone in need or anyone in town that is looking for it, hoping that we could supplement groceries this week so you can in turn have a little bit more cash when you go to the grocery store to be able to help make healthier options. And also trying to dive into the community where we're helping the kids with creating a resource. We're trying to eventually create a resource center to have kids be able to come and do their homework and practice for the PSATs and the ACTs and all that stuff like that, and also creating a trade school for these kids that know, hey, I'm not gonna go to college. I'm good with my hands. I want to learn how to be a mechanic. I want to learn how to be a plumber or HVAC guy, and understanding that those are options. You don't have to go work at Walmart's packing center. You can leave and you can get a trade school just like these guys who went to college. You can go to trade school and make just as much as they do with a quarter of the debt. You know what I mean? So that's Peewee's House in a nutshell. It's named after my grandmother. Her nickname was Peewee when she was a baby. She was a premature baby, and her bed, she was so small that her bed was her mother's nightstand. And my uncle used to always tell me that he could hold her in the palm of his hand. He got his big old hand. He's like, I can hold your grandma in the palm of my hand when she was a baby. So I used to call her Peewee. And if you know Peewee, she was a loving woman, very, very fun and loving and a lot of smiles, but she was also just as stern and didn't play. And when you was in her house, you were going to have manners and you was going to act like you had some sense and you was going to do your homework. And if you ain't come in that house and said hey to her when you walk in the house, she going to make you walk out of the house and start over again and walk back into the house and you speak to her. And then you go about your business to whoever you come to see in her house. And so I just wanted to be able to to shine some light on her in such a small town that I caused so much trouble in, to be able to come back and do something positive behind her name is awesome for me.
Well, now, I mean, first off, that's amazing, man. I just me being able to witness the impact you've already made on the community, not only in South Carolina, but also in Arizona, and all the giving back that you and Bree do. Um, it's been great to see. I mean, have you seen that you've translated some of the things that she used to yell at you for to your kids now? Like, do you see where she's coming
Oh,
from, or
yes. Oh, yes. Fully. Like, I catch myself sometimes. Like, there's certain things that I hang my hat on, like, that you're gonna do. Like, when you come into people's house, where there's someone that, and you go to somebody's house, you're not just finna run in there and go play with their friends. Hey, you make sure you go say hey to Uncle Q and Auntie Sherry when you come in there and you play with Scott. Like, this is what this is what it is. Like, you won't, and like, it's certain. I catch myself, and I'm like, dang, my grandma's probably somewhere smiling because this is directly her for sure right now.
so that's the one piece of advice I got to take. I got to make sure when Joey goes into someone's house, that hey, you go make sure you shake everyone's
Hey,
hand and introduce yourself.
manners. Manners. Make sure you introduce yourself. Make sure you yes ma'am, no ma'am, and you when you act like you got some sense, cause you my child, and I ain't finna have nobody calling me over here talking about you over here acting crazy. That's what my grandma would say
Well,
to me.
we already know I'm not good with first impressions, so I got to take a page out of Peewee's book for my daughter because I know that
Gotcha.
that's something that I got to work on. No, that's awesome. All right, well then you talked about wanting to create a resource center, and I know you're real big into investing and kind of taking care of your future off the field.
Yeah,
Tell me some of the things that you're interested in. We don't got to dive too crazy into it, but how have you, from when you first got into the NFL? I think we all think, hey, this is going to last forever. I'm going to be able to play
yeah,
until I'm 40 years old. We're not all Ray Brown, our former O-line
yeah.
coach who played for 20 years. But
Shout out Big Ray.
how is that mindset shifted from like just ball, but also like you take care of your business and you're so airtight with football that you're able to start doing things with your money? Because like for me, my mom was a elementary school teacher, stepdad worked construction. Like I didn't know where to turn in terms of
Right.
like investments. I didn't even know what stocks and bonds really were until I started to get a little bit older, and you get drafted and you come into a little bit of money as a player. What would be some of your advice to some of the younger players now, or what did you do? Who'd you reach out to? Because that's really what this show is all about, how to help
Yeah.
guys transition out of the league or how to maintain when they're in the league, of dealing with family, dealing with friends, dealing with people asking for money. How do you invest? All those different things. If you were going to give some advice, what would it be?
I think the one thing that like made my mind shift for one is watching the guys in front of me. You know, those guys that you watch be figures that you're like, man, there's no way that this guy, I can't even see a way that this guy's not in the NFL. And then you watch him get discarded by a team, and it's like, yo, damn, that can happen to me. And he wasn't ready for it. And it's like, so it's like when you see those things happen so many times, and you see guys have to react to it, it's like, yo, I gotta get a hold of this, and I gotta get a hold and kind of translating that same mindset that I have with football. It's like I want to be the best at this. I want to know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. I want to know how to present it. I want to know to who to ask these questions. So when I'm around you guys, like I said before, my veteran counsel, I'm taking in all the game that you're talking about. I'm listening to Beach. I'm listening to you talk about the real estate. I'm listening to it all so I can in turn be able to figure out, all right, this is what I should be doing. This is what I'm doing. Where am I off? Where can I'm using everyone that has the knowledge in front of me as a measuring stick to be able to make sure that I'm in the line where I should be. And understanding, like, for me, my biggest shift was understanding how the lifestyle is what we're creating is a lifestyle. So what you want to be able to do is be able to have something that be able to sustain that lifestyle. What is your cash flow that sustain that lifestyle? And once I started mentally making that shift, it started making it a lot simpler for me, even when it came to making investments that I had learned about previously. But it's like, okay, I could invest in this, or I could invest in this, that could give me some more equity down the line. This is going to give me cash flow for the future. Like, so being able to understand those things from listening to y'all and being in those places and just being a fly on the wall a lot of times. Then when it's my turn now, it's like, man, I know how to respond to this. I know what I'm looking for. I know which ways these plays can go or what it can do for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key is we see the business of football. Like we've seen how many
Yeah,
guys, like there's no one that has had more teammates in Arizona over the last 10 years than you. You've seen every guy come in and out of there. You've been there the longest, right? You're the longest tenure Cardinal. So like
yeah,
seeing guys like Larry Fitzgerald, seeing guys like
yeah,
Kelvin Beachum, AQ Shipley, myself, like I learned from like it's almost like it's a passing of the guard. Like as soon as you learn
yeah,
something, pass that along to the next guy. And I think you're one of the few guys in the league that has the ability to when you speak, guys listen because you're a captain in the way you play, in the position you play. And then when you start talking about like life off the field, I think that's one of the most important things that I encourage you to keep doing. Keep being you because that is what makes me proud when I look in the locker room and see you doing those things. That makes me happy because that's something that I always enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So, dude, shout out to you for that. I mean, honestly,
Appreciate it.
you need to have your own show one day. I know Alex, my producer, I try to pitch you on Hump in the Hot Tub. We talked about maybe trying to do our own show. Maybe I get like maybe we do some weekly segments or something
Or
where
something. Maybe I'll be a special guest host every so often to come in
until you're ready to do your own show.
Yeah, I'm scared, man. I'm scared. I'm not built for cancel culture, bro. I'm too fly. Like this is essential. This is about as essential that I can be on a podcast. Like today, like I held it in, like just to like, you know what I mean? I don't want
Well,
to
you
mess
know
up
how
your
I
fan
am too,
base.
bro. You know how I am.
Yeah, bro.
But I
I
curse
get
on
you
here.
going. I know I get you going. So I don't want to keep going because I'm now we're next thing we know every MF for every other word, you know.
Well, that's why I think we got to do something where we're both on camera because like we can yin and yang so well.
Yeah. Every
All right,
ivory, man. They know.
it comes back to it.
Ebony.
We really have done this throughout the years. Now we live right down the street from each other.
Yeah,
We're all in the
literally.
same neighborhood. I mean, I'm trying to get my kids aren't as old yet, but I know. Well, actually, yeah, Day, you're youngest right
Yeah, I was
now.
gonna say. Yeah.
All of our kids are the same age. So, I mean, I appreciate you getting on. This has been awesome. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? You got any questions for me while we're on here?
How's it been, bro? How's it been like doing all of this? Has it been like during the season, was it distracting for you?
What
Or
I'll
was it
say,
easier to
and this is why I encourage you to do this because you have the personality. It just opens up doors. Like being able to build your own brand, like
mm,
working with like I would spend an hour a week. My producer Alex, and you know Alex real well. He would have
yeah.
things in like typed up for me. Hey, this is what we're going to talk about. This is what we're going to do, and he made it easy for me. So I was able to use this to like leverage negotiation with the Giants because the Giants were trying to hold me to the wall and like, hey, we're going to give you this vet minimum contract. And I was like, well, if you let me walk, the fans are going to be pissed. And the fans kind of
Yeah,
have
yeah.
my back through social media. And it's way different in New York than Arizona. Like there's way more, maybe I don't want to
Definitely
say
way
out to
bigger
get
favor.
you, but if you have to have like you've done such a great job leveraging the media, I think you would be perfect on here. So maybe it's not you in the hot tub or whatever. Hump in the hot tub. I know it was like what Alex kept pissing you on, but maybe it is hump in the hot tub, or maybe because I think like to go back to what I said, you can leverage this. You got a knack for being able to communicate and like show people the ordinary life of what it's like to be in the NFL, like connect it to everyday life, and that's something that I think is
Appreciate it, bro.
hugely beneficial. So not only connecting with the players, but connecting with the people. There's very few guys that have that ability. So I think me going through this, if I can do it, you can do it.
I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, that was the only thing. That was the only question I had for you. Seeing you doing this, seeing you once you got with the Giants is still rolling. I was like, oh shit, my boy is rolling. This is okay. I gotta ask him how this is going.
The one thing I always got nervous about, and I was like, are these dudes gonna hate me? Because I came in and I was like talking like well,
Yeah,
I had been there like for 6 years previously, so like there
yeah.
was no guys at that point that were even on.
They were even there.
Sterling Shepard is like the longest tenure Giant. I was there like 2 years before Shep even got there.
We even got there. Yeah.
So, dude, I was 10 years older than everybody. That was a rude awakening for me because I'm used to having the veteran council. You guys are my veteran council. Like me and you were only a few years apart,
Yeah,
like in age. So like me and you would lean on each other for all sorts of things. Beecham, Ronnie Hudson, and
yeah.
Hugh.
All
Like
those guys.
I was used to having that. I went to New York, man.
You were the veteran council.
I was the old man. They used to
That's
call
how
me
I felt
old
this
man.
year. I'm just going to the beach every week, like asking them questions. And then everybody's coming to me asking me questions.
Well, that's how we got things done. I mean, that's the last thing I'll touch on before I let you go. But like we would always, because you're a left tackle, you were the highest paid guy in the room. We would always come to you, but hey, Hump, coaches are scared of you. Like, because when you were at that 0.01%, like we talked about when you would go off,
Yeah.
again, Beecham being genius, he would like get
Yeah.
us, me and you going. And then I would be like, I'll let Hump handle this, man. He's LT1. How was that? Like, how did you handle that? Like, you had no fear going in with the coaches because a lot of guys are scared of the coaches. You never had that. Like, is that just back to that same mentality?
Honestly, I think that's my mom in me. My mom doesn't give a fuck about it. Like my mom is like, if it's time to come out, it's coming out. So I think that's like my dad is a lot more calm, collected. I'm not gonna let you see me sweat. Like, I'm not gonna let you see me get a reaction out of me. My mom is very much, I'm gonna let you know. So like once y'all get me in that mode, I can't stop. Like I can't. I gotta say it. But you watch me tell a man that I'm sorry, cause my blood sugar. Like I'm sorry for yelling at you, cause my blood sugar's low. You remember that? Like so like I can't. Like once I get in that spot, it's like yo, I'm here now. Like I'm sorry. I apologize later. Y'all know my heart. Y'all know I mean well. My bad.
All right. So for any future teammates, a Hump out there, if you want to get something accomplished, just go get him riled up. His mom comes out. Normally you're calm, cool, collected, but you get the mom genes coming out, and that's how you get things done. Because once you get riled up, there's no one telling you otherwise. Like that, it ain't happening.
Yeah, it's
All right,
bad.
cool,
It's
man.
bad.
All right, well,
I got therapists
appreciate
though.
you coming on. I appreciate you coming on,
Appreciate it.
Hump. My favorite teammate of all time, one of my best
All
friends.
time.
I appreciate you, man. I really do, more than just coming on the show, but just in life, man. I appreciate you.
You know it, likewise, brother. Likewise. I appreciate you. Like this ain't the last time y'all gonna see me here on the show. So don't even, you know, I'll be back.
Coming back. He's coming back. We're gonna do it on a Love Sack though. I'm trying to get that Love Sack sponsorship, so we're gonna make it happen.
We like that.